Woo! What's going on, guys? Orms Forum coming at you today with another video. Today we're going to be talking about Lions training camp still, day 13, which was yesterday. Usually sometimes I'm behind on these videos, but on this particular occasion, I was waiting all day for this stuff. I was ready to go. But they had a night practice or like a late evening practice. So I didn't get a lot of this information out last night until about 10:30, 11 o'clock. And by then I was too tired. I was hanging out with the wife. We're watching Sopranos over here. And yeah, I just couldn't get it out. So, but thanks to guys like John Macaron, Tim Twentyman, Jeff Risdon, Jeremy Reisman, Justin Rogers, Jeff Risdon, those guys putting out the information. I'm getting the information out to you guys. All the credit goes to those guys for, those guys are grinding, doing their thing. Now, yesterday, day 13, was a rough one for Detroit. It was an injury-plagued day. And the injuries are starting to pile up for the Detroit Lions. And not just the Lions either, man. You're seeing all kinds of injuries going on in the NFL. Minnesota Vikings, losing J.J. McCarthy for I don't know how long. He's gonna need some surgery going on for him too. So the injury bug is coming. It's coming down the tracks, man, like a train. So it needs to be halted. But the Lions are getting hit. But we got some participation in some Detroit Lions news. We had a couple signings. We did sign a quarterback, Jake Fromm, and linebacker Ty Summers. We did release guard Ike Bodiger, and we injury waived wide receiver Antoine Green with a concussion and kind of a head neck injury. I was a little bit surprised on that one. Dan Campbell kind of saying it's something that was the last thing we wanted to do with him. We liked the way he was working, but the injury was pretty serious. So they waived injury. It's called injury waived him. So if he doesn't get claimed, I think he comes back to Detroit. He will come back to the Detroit Lions IR and be done for the season. And then with Ike Boettger, he just wasn't cutting it. They did release him. We'll see what happens with him. He's kind of a journeyman anyways. And then linebacker Ty Summers, like I talked about, it's a guy that's played for a couple teams, 6'1", 215-pound outside linebacker. Packers for 3 years, if you remember his name. Played for Jacksonville Saints for a couple of years. More of a special team guy. He has started a couple games in his career, but he's not anything special. Jake Fromm was a guy that was a 5th-round pick by the Buffalo Bills back in 2020. Played at Georgia Bulldogs. He was a decent quarterback, 8,224 yards, 78 touchdowns, 18 picks, 63.2 completion percentage at Georgia for 3 years, 6'2", 215-pound guy. Just hasn't caught on. Played with the Giants, played with the Bills for a bit, then released, played with the Giants, Commanders. He's only started 2 games in his NFL career, both with the New York Giants. 27 for 60, 210 yards, 1 touchdown, 3 interceptions, 45% completion percentage, and that's basically it. A statue of a quarterback, not a runner whatsoever. Is not going to sit there and tuck the ball and run. Basically just a camp body. That's basically all this guy is. And Hooker down, Hooker being out, which hurt a lot. We can't have Nate Sudfeld just out there taking snaps, because we do need him healthy too, going through the motions, going through games. I want Sudfeld gone, but he does need to at least stay upright and take some snaps, because you can't put Goff out there, and you're not just going to grab another quarterback. If, say, Sudfeld goes down, you're not going to grab another one and then have absolutely no game plan whatsoever, for these preseason games. But Fromm he's a camp arm. I don't think he's going to be on the team come week 1, but it is what it is. He was out practicing yesterday too, but there was no real news on him. Now, like I said, okay, participation. There was no cornerback Carlton Davis. This is all yesterday. Guard Kevin Zeitler. Defensive tackle Liam McNeil. Tight end Sam Laporta with the hamstring. Defensive end James Houston with the knee. Those guys all didn't practice. Zeitler with the shoulder. Don't know what Davis is, what he's going through, but he didn't practice either. Like I said, returned We got back wide receiver Jerice Fountain, then left tackle Taylor Decker, and defensive lineman Levi and Ruzarike. So good to have those three guys back. And then injuries, man, it was bad. We had a couple bad injuries. Running back Jahmyr Gibbs with the hamstring. We'll talk about this in a second. Cornerback Terrion Arnold, the rookie at Alabama, has an upper body. It could be a shoulder. Some people are saying that they saw that his shoulder was kind of drooping low. I saw one report where someone said his chest caved in. That's a little bit exaggerated, but probably looked like that from an angle. So maybe like a rib injury, maybe ribs there, shoulder, don't know. And then cornerback, another rookie, Enos Rakestraw Jr. with an ankle injury. The one that I just keep hearing about that's the most concerning is Terrion Arnold's. It looked the worst out of all the three. Gibbs was actually standing around after he got hurt. So he didn't go to the locker room right away, which is a good sign. There was reports out there that it was an ACL tear, all this stuff. The first thing I woke up to this morning was, oh, it's an ACL tear. He's done for the year, which doesn't seem to be the case. But what I want to know is, what was the grade? Okay, there's 3 grades on hamstring injuries: grade 1, grade 2, grade 3. Grade 1 being like a strain, grade 2 being like a partial tear, and then grade 3 being a complete tear. So you don't want 2, and you definitely don't want 3. So if it's going to be anything, it's 1. I want to know what Sam Laporta is too as well. He's not practicing, so they're kind of keeping that hush-hush, but I'm assuming it's a 1. It's just strained. So I'm assuming that they're just keeping him out. There's no need for Sam Laporta to be even out there, in my opinion. But, these guys still need to get some practice work in. So I just want to know what Jahmyr Gibbs' grade is. I'm hoping it's a 1. It's almost sounding like it is. So let's get that number out there so just we can feel better about it. But yeah, and then Rakestraw, I guess it's not that concerning. The Arnold one is a little bit concerning apparently because the shoulder, the chest, is it the ribs, it's the shoulder. So it looks like it could be a little bit more serious, if you will. Okay, then we got down to some double duty. This is before Gibbs went down. He was out there pulling some double duty. By double duty, I'm saying he was doing an individual work, individual periods with the running backs and the wide receivers. Campbell and Johnson have made it clear that they want Jahmyr Gibbs to be a big part of this passing attack, okay, for this year. Even though he caught 50 balls last year, he had 8 drops though on 71 targets. That's a little bit of a high number for drops. He's a good catcher out of the backfield. Don't get me wrong, but that is a pretty high ratio. Kept dropping 8 balls out of 71 targets. But he still caught 52 balls, 316 yards, and a touchdown. But they want him to be a huge part, like a Jamal Charles type, an Alvin Kamara type. That's how they would kind of want to see this kid develop. So he was pulling double duty, and I am not mad at anything. I'm not saying that Dan Campbell was pushing these guys too hard. He did come out and say that he really wanted to work his starters really, really hard this week, especially for the next couple of days. And a couple guys got hurt, but it's football. That's what happens. It's not Dan Campbell's fault. He needs to get these guys going. He didn't like what he's seen. He's probably obviously not liking he didn't like what he saw against the Giants. He's not liking what he's seen, and probably obviously in practice very much. He's trying to push these guys, and guys get hurt. But I'm not going to blame Campbell for that. It's football. Guys get hurt. Plain and simple. But he was doing some double duty. So if you guys want to run with that and think that it's all Campbell's fault, hey, I'm just reporting what's out there. Then the tackling drill. Running back David Montgomery. He's a really hard man to tackle. Gibbs had a great spin move to avoid a Kirby Joseph tackle. Running back Craig Reynolds did well running and tackling as well. Tight end Parker has he stiff-armed linebacker Alexander Zaloni to the ground, and Zaloni made up for it by putting on a good shot on tight end Brock Wright. Then Branch one-on-one drills, wide receiver Caden Davis with a really nice route and catch, but Brian Branch reached in, tipped the ball up, just kind of stripped it out of his hands for the INT. Really good hands by Brian Branch. His football awareness is it's really unmatched. Then the catch of the day, cornerback Kendall Vildar did tip a pass intended for Donovan Peoples-Jones, And safety Brandon Joseph made a really nice interception with one hand. Joseph with a back-to-back days with an interception too. I believe that's his third interception in 2 days. So Brandon Joseph making some noise for that safety position, that backup safety position. Then they did some goal line work. First team, Monty scored on a 1-yard run. Next play, Monty again from the 3-yard line, just short, so he got stuffed at the 1-yard line. And then third play, touchdown, Shane Zylstra on a nice one-hander in the corner of the end zone. And then some situational work, offense on the own 44, their own 44, minute 38 left, trailing 24-21, 3 timeouts left. Goff with really nice work, working the way all the way down the field. St. Brown with 3 catches on that whole drive. Brock Wright with another catch, 9-yard run by Craig Reynolds. And then 19 seconds left and 0 timeouts. Incompletion to J-Mo. And then a drop by wide receiver Darius Fountain that should have been a touchdown. And then Hutchinson with a sack ended the drill. That pretty much ended the day, but there's some more stuff here. Nose tackle Kyle Pico has been kind of sticking out. He's more than likely our nose tackle 1, but probably going to start the season as a starter right next to Aleem McNeil, with DJ Reader being hurt or possibly out. As he's also taking snaps at the 5 tech when Levi Muzurike has been out for a couple days. Then when Levi came back, they immediately moved Pico back to nose tackle. Pico's got some versatility that a lot of people didn't see or know he had. So again, this team, they preach versatility. They preach it big time, and it's just something that they want their players to be, very versatile. He ended up beating Ragnow twice on one-on-one drills as well. And Ragnow's been great. He hasn't really lost any reps, maybe 1 or 2 here or there. But there's been beat writers out there that are saying that they've never seen Ragnow get beat yet until Monday's practice. So Pico's showing some power and leverage right there. Then Craig Reynolds and some rookie running back, Sione Vaikai news. Both of these players are playing both offense and defense in tackle drills. Now we all know this is a competition, and I think they're really trying to figure out who's going to be RB3. I think they're really trying to figure out who's going to be RB3, because why else would Craig Reynolds be doing tackling drills? He's a special teamer, so I kind of get that, but I get it more on the Vaikai thing because he was a safety. He was a safety at Utah for 3 years with barely any running back duties. Kind of had to fill in for a couple running backs that were injured in that Utah backfield. So, this is a real competition. It looks like Reynolds is, still got the RB3 down, but Vaikai is nipping at his heels. So, it's a really good competition going on right now. And then Hutch, he's making multiple splash plays throughout camp. Monday is no exception. He's doing it too. Always getting pressure and staying disciplined on run defense. Took down Montgomery, and that's no easy task behind the line of scrimmage on a sweep. Finishing too, getting sacks on some crucial situation plays too as well. There hasn't been a lot of talk about Hutch. I haven't mentioned a lot because the beat writers are not saying much about him. That doesn't mean that he's not doing his job. He looks fantastic. He looks better than he has the last couple of years. He's quicker. They say he looks a little stronger. He's getting off the ball better. This is a big year for Hutch. This is going to be a very big year. They haven't really been focusing a lot on Hutchinson, it seems like, because they're really focused. The beat writers, they're focusing on position battles and kind of the new players out there. But he's in preseason form, so that's really good for them. And then wide receiver depth issues. Campbell coming out saying we're dying for somebody to step up and say, "Hey man, I'm the guy that you want to be the go-to guy in a pinch. Give me the chance." He's looking for somebody to step up. He's looking for someone to step up as a depth piece. Now, a lot of people are still saying, well, wide receiver 3. I still say our wide receivers 1 through 4 are pretty much in lock with St. Brown, J-Mo, Raymond, and Donovan Peoples-Jones. I still think those 4 are our main guys this year. Could we pick somebody up? Maybe. It could happen, but, Darius Fountain is still running with the 1s. But he did have 2 drops on Monday. He had a rough day. He had a rough day. Donovan Peoples-Jones has been up and down, but appears to be somewhat on the rise again. A little bit in the green. Dan Campbell kind of praising him, saying that they like what he's done the last few days. Going back since the game last Thursday when they played against the Giants. So he seems to be kind of on the up and up. And then they've been doing like a lot of wide receiver 3 sets, like 3 wide receiver sets. And it's been, Fountain's been in there, don't get me wrong, but they've been getting St. Brown, J-Mo, and Khalif Raymond in there as well too. So, you know, I think Raymond is the guy that is more trustworthy. I think he's a little bit more reliable than Fountain, obviously. Fountain is more of that big 6'2", 215-pound wide receiver that can jump up, contested catches, you know, can run a little bit, not as fast as Raymond, you know, but it's St. Brown, J-Mo, Raymond, and DPJ, Donovan Peoples-Jones, in my opinion. Could they go get someone? They've been trying guys out. You know, they even brought Alex Erickson in and stuff like that too. So your guess is as good as mine. But I know a lot of Lions fans took that quote from Dan Campbell and tripped out. They were freaking out because Josh Reynolds was gone. They like, what are we gonna do? People were like just losing it, being like completely overblowing everything. You know, Campbell is like like I said, he's a transparent coach. He's gonna tell you how he feels. He doesn't sugarcoat much stuff. But I think a lot of people took that quote out of context. Like, it's not, he's not saying he's worried about the starters, but you know, he's looking for some depth guys. He wants a guy like Fountain to run away with it, or Donovan Peoples-Jones, even him, you know, or a Caden Davis. You know, Antoine Green unfortunately got waived, so he's out of the mix. So he needs somebody to step up. Now, they could go after somebody as a 4 or 5 or 6, whatever they're looking for. But I still think our 1 through 4 are set. He's just looking for depth. He's looking for that 5th, 6th guy, in my opinion. And, you know, I think someone's going to step up. If you can't find it in-house, though, you got to go get somebody. You really got to go get somebody. And don't wait on it. So, I don't know. And then some Jake Bates. I'm going to end it off with this, guys. He's gaining confidence. You know, he's perfect on Monday. He hits from 25, 33, 39, and 42. And he hit 2 extra points as well, 2 for 2 there. And then don't forget the 53-yarder versus the Giants. And then he hit that 64-yarder on Sunday. That looked like it could have been 70+. So that's it, guys. I don't think there was practice today for day 14. You know, the day 14 will be tomorrow. Like on the Wednesday, because we don't play till Saturday. I'm pretty sure they had a day off today. Don't quote me 100% on that. But if they got a day 14, I'll try and get it out today. If not, it's coming out tomorrow. But I don't think they practiced, but we'll double check that for sure. But thanks a lot, guys. It was a little bit of a quicker one, 18 and change. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button on the bottom right. Don't forget to hit the notification bell up top. Don't forget to like, comment, share this out. Really appreciate it, guys. Detroit Lions, one pride, grit. Detroit versus everybody. Let's go. Bang.